Hello, today is Friday. Check the time, or the date is what? 5th June, or you say June 5. And by the grace of God, we've all met here together. And I always say that once God allows you to be part of the leaven, He is giving you an opportunity to begin on a clean slate. An opportunity for you to right the wrongs of yesterday. So what kind of decisions did you take yesterday that did not go well? Which decisions you took yesterday that you feel giving another opportunity, you will change? This is what God has given you to do. So the directions you took yesterday that didn't go well, the things you did yesterday, probably you got angry at a circumstance that you shouldn't have. This is the moment you correct that. So today you should love, you love more, you smile more, and you enjoy life because you don't know what will become of you tomorrow. But one important thing for you to live the world is to leave a good name. That if you're not here, they will mention your name and be proud of it. So what are you doing to live that legacy? Good morning again, and welcome to the Friday edition of the AM show here on the Joy News channel. Now we begin this morning with growing concerns about safety and resilience in our communities following the recent rains, fires, and building collapse that have left casualties and renewed calls for urgent action. 11 years after the June 3 disaster, when many lives were lost and families were left with lasting scars, we find ourselves facing another painful June 3 reality, another day marked by tragedy. This raises the difficult question: why, after all these years, do we continue to experience similar disasters? Why? And beyond the immediate incidents, we examine the deeper issues. Are the weak enforcement, poor planning, and regulatory gaps contributing to these recurring tragedies or not? We also then turn our attention to another major issue. The anti-LGBTQ plus bill remains at crossroads, with intense debate over whether it should be signed into law or reconsidered. As the controversy continues, and many people are saying, a lot of people have been talking about this, we ask, what happens next? This morning, we discuss these issues and more with our panel. Awal Mohammed is a member of the MPP's National Communications Directorate. Wanda Victor Kuto Esquire is board member of the VRA National Executive Committee and member of the NDC ESCO. Professor Isaac Bodi is Dean of Accounting and Finance at UPSA, and Kwame Owusu-Danso is lawyer and Executive Director of the Lands and Mines Watch Ghana. Also this morning, we have a corner coming your way with yours truly, Noella Karieni Yale. She will bring you all the latest you need to know in the world of showbiz. And you don't want to miss that, or any of the issues that we have for you on the show today. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace. You can call me Ahanta Pele. I do this always with Emefa, Akosua, Adeti. On behalf of the production team, it's my honor to welcome you to the show this morning. Let's start with the AM News. You stay. Let's start with the AM News now. An MP for Ebuakwa South, Dr. Kingsley Agyemang, is calling for the establishment of a National Disaster Risk Management Fund to support victims of floods, fires, and other disasters. Experts estimate that Ghana loses millions of citizens annually to disasters, yet there is no dedicated funding mechanism to provide timely relief and recovery support for affected persons. Speaking on the pause following Wednesday's heavy downpour, which triggered flooding, fire outbreaks, and building collapses in parts of Accra, Dr. Agyemang argued that a disaster fund is urgently needed to cushion victims while the country pursues long-term solutions to address persistent planning and infrastructure as well as engineering challenges.
disasters in this country, whether we like it or not, are either man-made or natural. And for the flood in Accra, it's a combination of the two. We don't have control over our climate. The rains will keep coming. We are all contributing to the intensity or the severity of the problem. Our attitudes and lifestyles are contributing greatly to these floods anytime they come up, and the fires and stuff like that. So I think in March last year, I asked the Minister of Interior his plans towards these disasters, because there's an insurance provision, Section 208 of the Insurance Act, that makes it compulsory for commercial buildings, shops and stuff like that to be insured. But going beyond that and escalating the discussion further, you realize that insurance companies may not be in a position to even compensate for these lifestyle, these attitudes that we put up as Ghanaians. So I think what we need to do is to mimic what is the best practices globally, especially in most jurisdictions. We have what we call the National or Special Levies, the National Disaster Risk Management Fund. If you go to the Philippines, if you go to Japan, if you go to Mexico, if you go to India, and even the UK, all these countries have specific risks or disasters that are very, very attached to their lifestyle kind of. So for instance, if you go to Mexico, you'll be looking at the floods. If you go to Japan, you are looking at the earthquakes. If you go to Mexico, it's the floods and the hurricane. These are disasters that happens every year that they do not have much control over, either naturally or their lifestyles are contributing towards it. So I believe that escalating beyond the insurance, we should begin to have a National Disaster Risk Management Fund.
Away from that, every morning the Black Voter connect lives across Ghana and Burkina Faso. Families trade, farm, and visit each other despite the border. At the GIZ-funded SK Boa Forum in Wichau, stakeholders called for stronger cross-border cooperation in healthcare, agriculture, and security, stressing that shared challenges required shared solutions. Rafiq Salam reports.
Hippos don't stop at border post. Why should people? That is the question leaders from Ghana's War West and Burkina Faso's Bati are asking at a new cross-border forum.
Hippos do not carry passport. Elephants do not stop at border posts. If animals can share one ecosystem, why should humans fight over one land?
Meeting in Wichau under the GIZ-funded SK Boa project, the two sides pledge to turn their border into a zone of trade, not tension.
Let development not stop at the white line on the map. If a clinic is full in Wichau, let Bache mothers enter. If Burkina Faso has seeds that survive drought, let farmers plant them. Border management means managing opportunities together. The strength of this border is not in cement pillars. It is in our women at the market.
Wawa's District Chief Executive Richard Wulo says the tie is already there. History, family, trade. With extremism rising in the region, he says unity can't wait.
In recent years, the security challenges confronting the West African sub-region, particularly the threat of violent extremism and insecurity, have reminded us of the importance of unity and collaboration among neighboring communities. Peace and security can only be sustained when communities work together, build trust, and promote mutual understanding.
The chief of Batie, Da Sanghaulo, crossed the flooded river to attend and says the commitment must now mean action.
If you go to Bache in Burkina in the market, you will find a very strong community, a Ghanaian community from Wechau making business there. And if you go to Wechau today, you also find a strong community from Bache that have come to do business. Our population have continued living together. They have continued having a kind of social cohesion among themselves. So we believe that this program that has been sponsored by GIZ Escabua is a very good tool to strengthen that social cohesion that is very paramount to all of us.
The Escabowa project is backing that with dialogue, micro projects, and Soccer for Peace tournament to keep youth engaged. GIZ's Escabowa project components manager Dorcas Avi says that's the core of the work.
One thing is established, that we are all speaking the same language. What we are saying is that our borders are not barriers, but they are bridges for development. And what that we are all saying is that we all understand the issues within our border areas. And we've also established that we have long-standing relationship. For instance, marriages, intermarriages among ourselves, market, free movement, and all that we are looking for is that we are able to cooperate together.
For Wa West and Batie, the goal is simple: manage the border by managing shared opportunities, not by dividing people. The river never divided. Reporting for Dwayne News, Rafiq Salam, Wachao.
Now from Wachao, let's take you to Cape Coast, because Cape Coast is set to witness a major transformation in its tourism sector with the proposed construction of the Bacano Resort, a landmark development by NR Limited expected to create over 500 jobs and boost the city's appeal as a leading tourism destination. According to the mayor of Cape Coast, George Justice Arthur, the Bacano Resort will serve as a catalyst for economic growth by attracting both local and international visitors, stimulating investment and creating employment opportunities for residents.
NR Limited is looking to make history in Cape Coast with the establishment of the Bacano Resort, a first-of-its-kind project expected to significantly boost tourism and create over 500 jobs in the metropolis. Speaking at a stakeholder engagement on the project, a representative of NR Limited, Nana Dazi, noted that the project will position Cape Coast as a more competitive tourism destination.
We know Cape Coast is the hub of tourism, as we always brag, and the first in everything. Now, what this project seeks to do is to shift the narrative of the Cape Coast that we used to know to a Cape Coast that is vibrant, the Cape Coast that has that potential to boost its local economy, and i.e. The national economy as well. So this project, what it seeks to do, again, employment, this boosts the local economy in a way that would put money into the pockets of people. As our corporate social responsibilities, we know it is incumbent on us as citizens to make sure everything that we do is in tandem with the agenda of the metropolis as well. So it is a stakeholder engagement that we had with our vision and how we want to proceed. So this is us coming to the General Assembly to present what we want to do to them, and so forth, in a way to seek their support as we embark on this journey.
The mayor of Cape Coast, George Justice Arthur, described the project as a strategic investment that will promote tourism-led development and create employment opportunities for residents.
Sometimes a number of people who visit our castle and other tourist sites wouldn't even spend a day and go. But this project coming would attract them to come spend about 3, 4, 5 days here in Cape Coast. If it happens like that, a lot of people would love to come and stay. And that is going to open up our economy. Metropolitan Assembly is judged by its economic viability, okay, and its population. So a lot of people will come to Cape Coast. That will increase the population growth, and aside that will also open our economy.
The assembly member for Bacano, Benjamin Agbonyeku, urged community members, especially the youth and fisher folk, to fully embrace and support the initiative.
In this project, I'm encouraging all the youth and then all the people in the community to embrace this project, especially our fisher people, those around the place. And we are pleading that they should vacate from the place so that they can do the project and then do it well for us.
The Bacano Resorts project is estimated to be completed by August 2028. From Cape Coast, Abigail Lisol Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
Now, ahead of Father's Day celebrations, Ghanaian singer Bongo Fari has appealed to mothers to help their children understand and appreciate the sacrifices fathers make for their families, revealing that he once sold the equipment he depended on for his music career to raise money and save his wife during childbirth. There's more in the following report.
Relies on gigs as a singer to make money for the home. In fact, he says at one point he had to sell the equipment he uses for his work to save his wife after childbirth. But what Bongo Farai does not understand is why his wife did not inform the children about the sacrifices he's made for them.
As a father, I've made a lot of sacrifice right from when I gave birth to the kids. You know, for example, I quite remember when I was not having money and I have to sell my studio to save my wife's life and the baby's life at the cesarean session at the hospital. So later on, when my children grew up, they never knew what I went through to bring them into the world. You know, so my wife also didn't tell the kids. I put up money, I pay their school fees, I do a whole lot of things. You know, so the kids were like, oh, Daddy, dear, you don't give us anything. And I said, no, I've been giving everything to Mama.
He also advises fathers not to abandon the home, especially the children, when issues arise in the marriage.
Some of the fathers too are no good at all. So they've gone to misbehave, and their problems came all the way to affect the whole masses of the men. Some of the men also are beating their wives. Some of the men, when they and their wives come together and they are bringing something like a business, building a house. Nowadays, they have other girls, they call them side chicks. We need to educate the men to know that your wife is not a stranger, it's your rib. You know, so being your rib, I may say, do things transparent. Things must be transparent to your wife.
As Father's Day approaches, he has one request for mothers.
The ladies are overshadowing we, the men. For example, when you give them something, at least they have to acknowledge that, oh, it's your daddy that gave us this. And then the children, it will go into the memory of the children. Because the memory of the children are very, is developing. So they can't really know who is who in the house. The Father's Day, for example, nobody regard we, the men, that we are really playing a role. And I can tell you that if it's 100%, we play a role of like 70%.
So why not take a moment to celebrate your father by letting him know you appreciate his sacrifices? The Joy Safari Escape has it all sorted out for you. Book a slot today by just calling Lois on 053 100 3813. Mavis Kabukua's report read to you.
That's the business updates now. And Energy and Green Transition Minister John Jinapor has announced the return of global oil giants like Shell to Ghana's crude exploration space. International oil players like ExxonMobil and Chevron were recently forced to freeze their entry to Ghana due to concerns about the country's oil investment laws. But speaking to investors in London, the minister revealed that all their concerns have been addressed to aid their entry.
We are encouraging you to invest. We want to assure you that we are building a very robust environment, a business-friendly environment, so that there's certainty when you invest. And the results are beginning to show. Gas is increasing, oil production is increasing, investments are increasing. I just had a meeting with Chevron. Shell, they've signed an MOU. All the big boys are coming back to Ghana. And the investor appetite is growing up. In the downstream sector, we've undertaken a lot of reforms, and Bost and other people will be talking. So I don't want to belabor the point. But we need a lot of investment there to ensure that we have oil supply reliability. Following the Iran-US war, you might have observed that a lot of countries are going through very turbulent moments. In fact, in some countries, the products are not even available, let alone price it. In Ghana, we provided a subsidy of 2 cedi on every liter of diesel for 1 month. After 1 month, we decided that we'll do 1 cedi. We'll provide a subsidy, but we'll do that in a meticulous manner, not to create debt. And like I always say, if you subsidize, pay for it. We've learned our lessons.
Of the return of global oil giants like Shell to Ghana's crude exploration space, Executive Director for the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, Benjamin Insia, says this will increase foreign direct investment and enhance the growth of the economy.
As we always say, which means revenue flows will increase, fiscal space will get more revenue to be able to embark on various government projects. Local economies will be boosted. 3, foreign direct investment will be attracted, because what it means is that that sector is becoming very buoyant and very attractive to IOCs. 4, we are also likely going to get some risk capacitation of local businesses or local investors who may want to engage or provide some services for these IOCs. So it brings a lot in terms of growth of our economy and some aspects of development that is likely also going to be experienced through revenues mobilized from these sectors.
And that's it for Business Update. And that's how we wrap up the AM Business for you. There's more on the show, but up next, we'll bring you AM Sports. Do stay on.
Through every stage of life, some things simply stay with us. The spirit of never giving up. A throwback to a bygone era. Love was service. The silent statement of love. A forceful gesture that deepens bonds, balancing work and life. Every drop refreshes, every sip hydrates, just as it should. I am awake, one for life. Drink water, drink awake. Supporting the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert.
Now let me tell you why you should choose Safari Valley as your conference destination.
The new conference building combines modern amenities with the tranquility of nature, providing the perfect backdrop for your next seminar and corporate retreat.
The only conference destination with so many activities. You don't have to travel to visit your tennis club, the gym, or the stables. They have it all.
Enjoy this rooftop viewing deck, basking in the sunlight with the sight of wild animals roaming freely in their natural habitat.
At my break, I'm able to practice my putting.
It's a unique experience that sparks creativity and reduces
Cadbury hot chocolate. crafted from cocoa, milk, and sugar. Creamy, chocolatey, frothy goodness, rich taste, so satisfying.
Cadbury goodness, the treats you deserve every day.
Did you know that Ghana currently spends more than 8 billion Ghana cedis annually importing food that can be produced locally? That is why this June, Joy Business and the Super Morning Show, in partnership with the Federation of Associations of Ghanaian Exporters, FAGE, bring you the Joy Agribusiness Month 2026 under the theme From Soil to Sovereignty, Building Ghana's Agricultural Self-Reliance Through Innovation. Join us on the Joy Super Morning Show, Joy News, and across Joy Business platforms for a month-long national conversation on Ghana's food security and agribusiness future. Week 1 focuses on government policy, trade and financing for food sovereignty. Week 2 explores research, innovation, mechanization. Week 3 examines infrastructure, value addition, youth participation and agricultural financing, while Week 4 highlights opportunities across key horticulture value chains. The final week looks at consumer power and Ghana's roadmap to food sovereignty by 2030. Stay tuned to Joy FM and Joy News.
Baya bukata abu mai yawa ku sare abin da kuke so. Wani sahili yana farawa da rigakafi. Kulawa ba kowane lokaci yake da karfi ba, shine saurara, takasansan da yin ƙananan abubuwan da suka dace.
Kariko bara yana farawa da ni, ina kula kowace rana.
Good Conduct, Great Life is brought to you by
Indomie.
Tastes great.
More Kivo inside. Kivo Gari Soaking Mix. Taste of Ghana.
Everything has meaning, but not everything is as it seems. For every story told, there are versions of the truth.
We can't afford to look at this, the numbers that have been presented, and say, we are tired, it's the same old issue. No, somebody should be prosecuted.
Every opinion can be debated. Every claim can be challenged. Even the idea of the national interest can and must be interrogated.
This is the date it was. This was the date it was printed from the system.
That is what
what is he talking about?
Because sometimes the real facts are buried deep within layers of interpretation. So we ask the harder questions. We test every claim. We raise the standard of public discourse and place every issue on the altar of unbiased scrutiny. This is Newsfile, your most authoritative news analysis platform. And here on Newsfile, we put Ghana first.
We stand beneath you. What are you doing?
Newsfile with Samson Ladi and Yanini. On Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible.
Imagine a family without a home. Imagine a song without a voice. Imagine a church without prayers. Imagine a government without citizens. Imagine democracy without journalists. Imagine a world without the media. Life is full of issues and stories about people, communities, and governments. Stories that have to be told by well-trained journalists. That's why you can't imagine news without Joy News.
This house was once somebody's dream. A 3-bedroom home filled with family, laughter, kids playing around. But today, it's akin to an eco park. Weeds, plants, snakes. It's all falling apart. Join me on a journey to put this house in good shape. We need to bring this house back to life. Yes, we will. Let's do this.
Good morning. Let's do sports now on the AM show. My name is Haruna Mubarak, and we are 6 days away from the start of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, which will be hosted by the United States, Canada, and Mexico. The Black Stars are also 14 days away from their opening game against Panama. The squad has already begun training after arriving in the U.S. on Thursday. Ghana is likely to play one more international friendly ahead of their opening match. It is understood that the Ghana FA is considering a game against Jamaica or Honduras as they look to give head coach Carlos Queiroz enough opportunity to build a formidable team for the World Cup. The 1-1 draw against Wales was the first game under the Portuguese coach as Ghana ended a run of 4 consecutive defeats.
Eyes on the ball, eyes on the small object.
Meanwhile, the Black Queens also held their first training session for the June FIFA Women's International window at the University of Ghana Stadium in Accra. A total of 24 players took part in the opening session under the supervision of head coach Kim Las Bjorkegren and his technical team. The squad is expected to continue training in the coming days as the technical team works to improve their fitness level, team cohesion, and competitiveness. It's a good time to hear from the head coach, Kim Las Bjorkegren.
Response have been great, I would say, like always. Great to be back with the girls. You can see that they have missed each other as well. So amazing energy. There have been really good trainings from the first day. Normally the first training day is a little bit slow because many have traveling. This time, of course, less because a big part of the group were already here in Ghana. So I think we saw it already in the first training. It was a higher tempo than normally the first day, and since then we have just been growing and better and better in every training. So far, very, very good. Of course, you always want to have good games, but we felt in the previous camp that we had in Dubai, we had, especially against Russia, a really tough game that we won with 4-0, so we know our potential. Every time when we meet each other, we keep growing and we perform better and better as a group. So even if will not play against the national team in this window, we will have the opportunity to play against some local teams, Ampem Darkwa here tomorrow, and then potentially another game here. Then we will do the best from it. The good thing is that we can practice to do set pieces and things that you maybe can't do otherwise against national teams. So we see it in a positive way, and we're enjoying our time here in Ghana.
Now, Vice Chairman of Team Ghana for the 2026 Commonwealth Games, Mauko Afajinu, is urging corporate entities to support the country's athletes ahead of the competition. Ghana is expected to be represented by 40 athletes across 8 sporting disciplines. The global showpiece begins on the 23rd of July.
Indeed, we need to find ways of extracting maximum value out of it. And we can do that together as a people. That's the reason why collectively as a nation, we must stand behind such opportunities. We're sending another batch of very promising athletes to Glasgow. Possibly, God willing, we may get the next gold medal. And when that happens, the knock-on effect on this country is limitless. But we can't do it together. The state has competing demands on a limited budget. And that is why there is enlightened corporate interest in situations like this. And that is why we call on corporate Ghana. Even as it's done in other spaces, this is an opportunity that you can't let go. A young man was telling me today about even the chance to be at the games to capture very deep moments and bring it back here. What it could, the impact on businesses, and not just the businesses, but how people feel about your business is something money can buy. So we invite you, come and join us. Come, let's go make Ghana proud again. Thank you. Thank you very much, President Mao.
In Europe, Liverpool have appointed Andoni Iraola as their head coach on a 2-year contract following the sacking of Arne Slot. The former Bournemouth manager joins the Reds after guiding Bournemouth to an impressive 6th place finish in the Premier League. He has been speaking to the club's media on his plans for the team.
Adeti, welcome to Liverpool. Tell us about how you feel sat here in the Liverpool tracksuits. So really excited because obviously you know about Liverpool, you know that is a big club, a massive club, one of the biggest in the world, but feeling inside, and understanding a little bit more of this club. And I always thought it's a special club, not about the football side, also because what people think about even during the week, how they are passionate about the club and everyone, the ones who like football, the ones that probably are not interested, but I have some experience with Athletic Club that I could in some ways familiarize, but it's going to be fun to experience it from the inside.
It's a huge challenge. It's a football challenge as well. So what attracted you to that part, the football inside of the club?
I think you don't need a lot of things to get attracted by Liverpool. Liverpool is Liverpool, but obviously the atmosphere, the supporters, the club, the players, the chance for me to coach top level players, the chance to fight for titles, I think it cannot be more attractive than this. It's difficult to find it, so really excited to start, yes.
Let's wrap up with with some international friendlies that happened last night. Ivory Coast, they shocked France by securing a 2-1 victory against the 2018 world champions. And we've also got Spain, who were held to a 1-1 draw by Iraq.
Turkey maybe to hit one here, he does! Palmed away for Fana, back in Elise, hooked away at the far post. Still there's a France threat though. Guess who is Cherky finds a way! He's been hammering on the door, and finally he bursts it open. What a finish! What feet again from Ryan Cherky. And it's wonderfully well taken. His shot there, and then he never gave up. Look at that, a little drag back. A terrific ball through, flag stays down, this for the equaliser. Ice cool, Deladoué. What a moment for him as his kid brother watches on. Côte d'Ivoire level. He's not meant to be the finisher in the family, but he took this supremely. He's onside all right. Third international goal, and how well he takes it. Kanate slipping and sliding, and he bides his time and picks his spot, and it's never in doubt. He gives the goalkeeper the eyes. Let's hope he never loses that intonation.
Reaction from Ahmed Bazil, because he'd have seen that very late. So close to 1-0 in favour of Spain. Alex Baena opted to go for goal, and having found a route through the legs of Zaid Tassin, it took splendid reactions from Ahmed Bazil, and just about strong enough fingertips to send the ball wide. Laporte for Grimaldo. Porro. Bernal. Ferran. Alex Baena. And that was neither one thing nor the other. Good stuff from Spain, just that final little bit that hasn't yet clicked. Cross was marginally too deep for Borja Iglesias. Not sure it was intended to reach Alex Baena. And once it did, Gavi was looking to get himself back on side. Dealt with by Laporte. And now Borja Iglesias can let it run for Ferran Torres. Spain in business here. Ferran Torres going alone! Ruthless stuff from Spain and Ferran Torres. Quick as a flash from one end of the field to the other. Well, they came for goals tonight. They will hope that is just the first of them. Never mind the opponent, you simply cannot afford to give players of the quality of Ferran Torres that sort of space to run into, that kind of time to make up his mind. Akam. Wonderful pass. Doski. Oh, yes! Something very special from the boot of Merkas Doski to get Iraq level. Who saw that coming? Not Joan Garcia. Well, Doski.
And that's how we wrap up this sports segment on the AM show. My name is Haruna Mubarak.
For decades, life in Bogoso and Pristia revolved around one thing: mining. The mines provided jobs, supported businesses, and kept money circulating through the local economy. Then, operations ground to a halt, and for nearly 2 years, the shutdown was felt across the mining communities.
Some were even selling their lands, some were selling their properties to feed their family. It was very bad.
Nana Kwabena Tenkran is the Odikro of Crew Town in Swetchiri. He watched the downturn unfold from his palace. For him, the collapse of the mine brought economic life in the community to a standstill.
Mine gives our people employment. The mine gives our people, let's say, money to stay or to live. Any money that comes from the mine stays here. Some stays here, so it makes our economic activities grow. So it got to a time there was nothing moving here. It was just we, the citizens, or we, the natives that were around.
The shutdown affected more than mine workers. Contractors, suppliers, and service providers also found themselves struggling to survive. Among them was James Kwaku. He leads locums, an association of 18 local companies providing mining services. Even before the mine shut down, many of his members were grappling with months of unpaid invoices from the previous operators. And when operations stopped completely, the situation became even worse.
Some of us had gone to borrow from the banks, borrow from friends, and people, my members, some of their money, some of their properties, assets were taken away from them because of FGR's inability to pay us. During the time that we were in the house, some of my members were even arrested. Yes. And some lost their properties. Some of us, no, because they owed the banks. The banks were chasing them. Some of us had to buy sell some of our trucks to make end live. So we suffered during that time we were in the house.
Then came a new operator. In late 2024, Heath Goldfields took over the Bogoso Prestea mines. The company inherited a mine burdened by debt, legal disputes, and years of underinvestment. For many residents, the question was whether the mine could be revived at all. Nana Tenkran says the first signs of change appeared before gold production resumed.
When Heat came, they didn't start even production, and they didn't start, let's say, milling or bringing out gold, but they started paying the debt, some of the debt that FGR incurred.
Before Heat came, they paid the legacy debts, $1 million to Locums and its members. So we used that $1 million to mobilize to start the mining for Heat. It will interest you to know that we have the complete technical know-how in Prestea and its environment. Yes, Prestea, Bogoso, Beppo, Bondi. We employed mining engineers from this catchment area. We employed surveyors from this catchment area. We employed HR from this, Adeti operators, highway truck operators, operators like excavator operators, big excavator operators. We employ all of them from here. So in our start, we have our policy is we have 90% of the workers from this catchment area. You understand? So when you talk about employment, we have employed especially the youth. Yeah, the emphasis especially the youth. We have employed 450 workers from this catchment area. The rest, about just 5% or 10% are from outside. That is what locals have done for the community.
For former Member of Parliament for Prestea Huni Valley, Kwesi Blay, the significance of the restart goes beyond employment. He believes the community should judge the company based on the conditions it inherited.
He never came in when the company was in process, it was in progress. They came in at the time that everything has shuffled. The company was down for 2 years. The community, the workers, the Nananum, everybody was clamoring for a new company to come in. Thanks be to God, the government of the day placed the mine on tender. Heat came in, bidded, and they won. All this while, none of the community members, those of us who are agitating that Heat must leave, none of us came out to say that no, because of A, B, C, D, Heat must not be given the mining lease. We were applauded when Heat was given the mining lease. They won the bid, all right. They came in, they've started operations.
The company's return has not been without criticism. Some residents and activists have questioned whether Heat has the financial capacity to fully revive the mine and restore underground operations. But traditional leaders say expectations must be realistic.
It's too early to judge them now, because they just started production last year, October. All this while when the lease was given to them, there was court injunctions and this, court issues, and they started operation this October. You are saying they should do what what somebody is doing or somebody has done within this space of 6 or 7 months. It can't be possible. Mining is not run like that.
For now, many in Bogoso and Prestia are watching closely, not because all the answers have arrived, but because after 2 difficult years, there are signs that economic activity is returning. Workers are back on site, contractors are back in business, and money is beginning to move through the communities again.
This is the first time that we are having an indigenous mining company to come and then operate in a mine in the community. Over the years, it has been the foreigners. When they mine, at the end of the year, they take the dividends out. By my virtue as a former member of parliament, we traveled to Johannesburg. We saw the type of investment that Joburg is made of. You don't go to Joburg and find an Australian company or an Indian company or Nigerian company doing mining over there. They are all indigenous mining companies. So how can't we also support our own? Instead, we are advocating for Chinese. Who does galamsey more than the Chinese people? The community is ever prepared to engage them, sit down with them. When we find anything wanting, we will let the minister and the government that because of A, B, C, D, heat can't operate in the community. So therefore, terminate their alliances, give it to another person. Until that thing is done, heat must work.
The future of the Bogoso Prestia mines remains a work in progress. The underground workings still need rehabilitation. Production must be sustained, and the promises of development will ultimately be judged by results. But for communities that endured nearly 2 years of uncertainty, the return of mining has brought something many feared was disappearing: hope.
For the American defence to deal with, and has scored! A wonderful volley!
The stadium is live! The fans are roaring and the excitement has officially kicked off. It's goal rush season at Kojo. This World Cup season, the match isn't just on the pitch, it's happening right in your home. Build your home stadium with world-class cinematic TVs, powerful sound bars and home theaters, high-power speakers, laptops, tablets and projectors for the ultimate streaming. CompuGhana is delivering unbeatable deals, not just discounts, but a chance to win 100-inch 4K smart TVs, mobile phones, laptops, and many more. Just purchase items 1,000 Ghana cedis and above and automatically enter the raffle draw. Shop online at CompuGhana.com. Call on 0302-752020. Go Rush season, the ultimate football experience, only at CompuGhana.
Discover Willow Lane in Sakumono, one of Ghana's most prime community. These expertly designed 4-bedroom homes feature a private elevator, 4 ensuite bedrooms, private balconies, walk-in closets, and a gourmet kitchen and a maid's quarters. Perfect for families, executives, investors, and retirees. Our community offers a swimming pool, playground, and 3-tier security for your peace of mind. Experience the ultimate in comfort, convenience, and community here at Willow Lane, Sakumon. Visit wayley.org or call 0240-111119 or 0308-0405 00 to book your tour today. Waylead, your trusted home builder.
Numerous cases of people falling asleep have been reported across the African continent. No one can explain this phenomenon.
With 24/7 FIFA World Cup coverage, sleep can wait. Everything can wait.
Catch all 104 matches from as little as 58 Ghana cedis only on DSTV.
Another week is here on the greatest of all time show. My name is Giovanni Clip, and tonight we're bringing you talent. Contestant number 1, let's bring Baby Girl. Let's bring.
He did it for you.
Cut. Oh, there is a leakage.
Where's the plumber?
For quality and durability, insist on Syntex pipes.
If you want quality, this be where you belong.
Strong, tough, and reliable. Your perfect match to your trusted Syntex pipe. Syntex pipe, it dey carry water, no wahala.
Syntex pipe, it dey make water dey flow. Syntex, you strong, you tough.
Now, since its rollout in January 2023, the Bank of Ghana has disclosed that it incurred losses of 317 million Ghana cedis in 2023 and some 1.82 billion Ghana cedis in 2024 under the Gold for Oil program. That brings the total losses to some 2.14 billion Ghana cedis in over 2 years. The central bank says that it injected 4.69 billion Ghana cedis into the program, effectively losing 45% of its working capital, or the capital actually deployed in effort to stabilize fuel prices and then also to support the city. Now let's break this down further. On March 13, 2025, the Bank of Ghana officially ended the Gold for Oil initiative, citing heavy financial losses sustained as the primary reason for shutting it down. Now, Gold for Oil was actually introduced in December of 2022 in response to surging fuel prices, with diesel retailing as high as 23 cedis per litre, and petrol, you recall, was around 17 and 18 cedis at Goyo stations in November of 2022. A sharp cedi depreciation and the rapid depletion of foreign reserves forced the government and the Bank of Ghana to try an alternative strategy, that is, use gold and not dollars to purchase petroleum products from the international market. The logic behind the program was very simple. Ghana needed a workaround to its dollar shortage that would then further drain the bank's reserves or worsen its currency depreciation. The goal was to ease pressure on the cedi by preserving scarce foreign exchange reserves. Ghana spends about $400 million each month importing fuel or fuel products, making it the major driver of dollar demand in the country. Reducing that pressure, even partially, was central to the program's logic. The bank had already launched a domestic gold purchase program in June 2021, partnering with the then Precious Minerals Marketing Company, PMMC, now rebranded as a Gold Board, to buy gold ore from local miners in cedis and then refine it abroad for Ghana's official reserves. The aim at the time was to double Ghana's gold reserves within 5 years, then standing somewhere around 8.7 tons. Now that gold stockpile now exceeds 32 tons, nearly quadrupling in under 4 years. That's according to the central bank's own data. The domestic gold purchase program was later expanded to include a gold for oil framework. The Bank of Ghana, through PMMC, purchased ore in cedis from local miners and handed it over to designated gold brokers. In some cases, the brokers sold the gold internationally and deposited foreign currency directly into Bank of Ghana's offshore or nostro accounts. These funds were then used to buy petroleum products for domestic market. That was very simple. The Dor gold was either swapped directly for fuel or refined first and then exchanged for petroleum products. The fuel was delivered to Ghana, but the dollars used to buy it remained overseas. As a result, the local economy saw no direct injection of foreign currency. Notably, the entire arrangement was never subjected to parliamentary oversight. The ruling government at the time argued that the Gold for Oil program was not an executive policy, but a central bank initiative, and therefore did not require any parliamentary approval. The criteria for selecting these gold brokers, the fees paid, and the number of intermediaries involved have never been publicly disclosed. The city did stabilize in months after the G4O was launched, and fuel prices actually fell. While it's hard to actually isolate the program's direct impact from that of the IMF deal signed in May of 2023, the reduced dollar demand from oil importers likely contributed to easing exchange rate pressures. By November 2023, the then Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, told Parliament during the 2024 budget presentation that the Gold for Oil program accounted for some 30% of petroleum imports. No major updates followed until the release of the Bank of Ghana's 2024 financial report. The bank attributes most of the 2.1 billion loss to foreign exchange losses, but the key details remain missing: the volume of gold acquired, the fuel supply, the commissions paid, the intermediaries involved, and the broader impact of the program, all gone missing. With over 2.1 billion Ghana cedis in reported losses and little transparency about how that program was run, the Gold for Oil has ended as a costly intervention. Well, it may have brought some temporary foreign exchange relief and cheaper fuel, but it ultimately left a deep hole in Bank of Ghana's books.
It's Friday. Thank you so much for staying with us or joining us if you just tuned in. This is the AM show. We're just about to review the news. And the Hunter Pele is by the wall, would give us updates on the newspapers or from the newspapers or around the newspapers, in front of the newspapers.
Now, what are you for? What?
Oh, yeah, GTP na Leran collections, no pama.
Allah gege. Okay, now let's start from the Daily Gist. There's on the banner headline here, blows over 1.67 billion agric budget. Now, this is a story that, you know, if you read, the details are that at a certain meeting, the Deputy Minister of Finance announced that the ministry has released this money, representing 85% of the budgetary allocation of the Agric Ministry. And they released that to the ministry. Now, when you look at the video, the minister's body language to the reaction didn't suggest that indeed what they said could be true. And then his aide comes out later to issue a strongly worded statement that this is not true, it's not factual. Now, people have said what is happening is because of the boardroom fighting for who succeeds President John Mahama.
You must use all the tools and
arsenals. So whilst I am the one holding on to your cash, I'll strangle you of cash, and you cannot do anything. So that is there. You can get details on page 3 of the paper. It's interesting happenings there. Whether it is true or not, we'll leave that to them. Exactly. MPP demands passage of original 2024 LGBTQI plus bill. NLA workers declare war on Alaji Lotto. Okay, so AG convicted my clients before trial. Atacha is saying that, and he's referring to the press conferences that came there. Bono Regional Minister served Anodon Press 30 million cedis defamation suit. And here, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh is now explaining, he's saying that his Nkrumah remarks were twisted. So sort of apologizing to people by saying that, well, what I meant was not what really people reported, you know. So that is it. People should now know that Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh didn't set out to denigrate the founder or the founder of the first president of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah there. So that's the publisher, Bopora Ane Sami Jemfi for exemplary leadership. That's also there for the Good Boss CEO. MCL unveils Grand Panache, names Michael Blackson as brand ambassador. And I was at this event. It was a very great one. The project they want to do is a really, really impressive project, and they're asking people to buy units in that particular project there. Minority Defense Anti-LGBTQ plus bill position slams NDC hypocrisy. Now, ICOM stable and functional Ghana link group slams attacks on Akosua Menu there. Say stop attacking Akosua Menu. You can't be attacking women in this day and age. Daily Guide, Jen said condemns Dr. Mwakwene over Akosua Kuma comment. MCL Ghana launches Grand Panache, appoints Michael Blackson as ambassador. So this is still on that young man's progress. Wonderful feat by this young man there. Audit Service Board Auditor General lock horns over staff promotion and prevent Hajia for real from accessing my children, and accuse ex-wife. Interesting. Well, let me leave it here and hand you over to you and your guest.
All right, thank you so much, Kojo. Let's get into the matters arising. Today, we try to zero it down to 2 major things happening in the country. And I'm joined in studio by Kwame Owusu-Danso. He's a lawyer and executive director of Lands and Mines Watch Ghana. Wanda Victor Kuto is a lawyer as well, and board member of the VRA National Executive Committee and a member of the NDC. A little later, we shall be joined by other panelists, but let's start our conversation. Wanda, it's good to see you.
Thank you.
Kwame, Neti Singh.
Yamiadum na we.
Yamiadum pa.
Wanti mi anko. Ebe fa na.
Whatever you want me to achieve, I'll achieve it for you.
Indeed.
Okay. So this morning, of course, we're still talking about the June 3 disasters because 11 years after, we would sadly say that another June 3rd has been recorded. The floods, we've lost their life, our buildings collapsed with people who are casualties in this matter. And I was just looking at the recommendations by the committee that was set up 11 years ago to look at that twin disaster that happened at Circle. And I just ran you through. So it says that some of the recommendations will be dredging and desilting, decongestion of waterways, fuel station safety and zoning, ban regulation of plastics, ban or regulations of plastics, upgrading emergency services, victim compensation as well. A few things that have been implemented since that recommendation will be the Addo River and drainage projects. So you'd notice that every now and then they'll be desilting the Addo River and other places that need desilting. Improved weather forecasting and early warnings. I like to say that this year, dear, you want to clap for the Ghana Meteorological Agency because I say, straight away, and so you must take it seriously. And institutional coordination, that's between NADMO and other emergency response institutions, and some demolitions of illegal structures. Surely, we've brought you the news about some demolitions, and you know that not a lot of Ghanaians take it quite easy, but that has been happening. Plastic waste legislation, that is still in the offing. The EPA has as well brought some recommendations on some legislation. We'll talk about the LGBT, but 11 years after, there's another June 3. Now when you're talking about it, you have to say, oh, remember the 11 years ago one, and then the recent one as well. Akame, let me know your thoughts.
Well, Emefa, thank you very much for the opportunity. June 3rd still remains an emotionally significant aspect of Ghana's history, because I do remember on the day I was still pursuing my LLB. And I had gone to Empire to go and learn, and I was driving back to the house. So I kept receiving calls. You know, where are you, where are you, where are you? I said, oh, I'm on the 37th Street. He said, oh, thank God. I said, why? He said, oh, a filling station had, I think there was a fire that had gutted a filling station, and people were struggling to move away from that filling station. Others died and things like people were burning and all of that, you know. So it was a very scandalous, if you like, experience, and something that really will forever be etched in our memories. It will not be forgotten soon. But one of the most important things for me would be what important lessons we've learned from those harrowing experiences that we were faced with as a people. And when you were reading the recommendations, I wrote down a few of them.
Okay.
They said they were going to dredge the Addo, they were going to desilt, they were going to ban plastics, they were going to ensure that houses which were built on waterways were demolished. 11 years on, and you still wonder whether we have been able to do even a percentage of the things that
you'd have thought that wonder is just the name of an Everman.
You know, it's
a real wonder.
You know, so it tells you that we are a nation of talkers.
Yeah.
We are not a nation of doers. And the only reason why we are unable to do the things that we say we want to do is because of politics, that we overly politicize even matters of national importance. We politicize it. The fear is that, oh, but if I went and demolished a property belonging to somebody, it will create a certain destabilization and people will score political points or, you know, milk politically from it, and therefore want to leave it the way it is. And I'm sure you are alive to what is happening currently at the Ramsar site, where people who have built their homes are suffering because a decision has been taken to demolish most of these buildings on our waterways. It beggars belief when some of these things come up, because then you wonder why people were even allowed to build on waterways to begin with. It's a matter of our inability to comply with rules and regulations. That's number one. Number
compliance?
Two, yes, compliance. Number two, that you have this laissez-faire attitude of people who have been asked to manage state institutions, which state institutions are supposed to ensure that we do proper spatial planning. So people naturally would go for permits before they can put up buildings. And it will not surprise me to find out later that these people that have managed to build at the Ramsar site have been given permits to go and build. So you wonder who gave them the permits? What was the reason for giving them the permit if we knew that the Ramsar site was a no-go area? Why did we allow people to be given permits and to even erect their buildings. It tells you that, in Ghana, when people are given opportunity to serve, they serve themselves, they serve their interests, they serve what would give them money, and they don't care about the generality of the Ghanaian people. And that is why we are still suffering. Look, it is also one of our own attitudes as a people that we are not supposed to litter. You know that we are not supposed to dump refuse just anywhere. But you would find people dumping refuse, sometimes even in drainages. Mm-hmm. And I was once upon a time driving along the Musuku heading towards Ashoman Estate. And I chanced on a certain lady who was dumping refuse in the drainage. I parked and I asked her to remove it. I said, why are you putting this in there? He said, but is it your drainage? Does it belong to you? Yes, that's the Ghanaian attitude. And when you impress upon people to do the right thing, they say that now, Ghana. That's the people. And I'm sorry to say it, so sometimes we behave like animals. We behave as though we always need people to shape us before sense can drop in our brains. Because the way we behave in this country, it is so unbelievable. And that is why we are here. We create a problem. We know the problems that we are creating. We know the outcomes of the problems that we are creating. And yet somehow we continue to create the same problems. Emefa, are you not surprised? Go to Circle right now.
The same exact spot.
The same exact. Yeah. You will see. The Odo is literally a refuse dump. Go to Makola. Go to even Kaneshi, the stretch, that La Paz stretch.
Yeah. Go
there and see what is happening. Our roads literally have been taken over by market women. And when they finish, they don't even sweep, keep the place clean. And when it rains, these are the ramifications of it. But because we know in Ghana that anytime there's a problem, or anytime we commit or we create the problems, we have somebody else to blame. We create the problems and we say, government, hey, I'm buying government. Every time, and then we politicize this. If you don't come and they silt our drainages, we'll vote against you. That is the blackmailing leaders in this country. That is, and it is the bitter truth, but we must tell it.
Yeah.
We must tell it. If we don't veer away from that mentality, that Ghanaian mentality that we have, we will not be able to address these matters. And we will forever remain the way we are. Because haven't you noticed it's getting worse? Every year, it gets worse.
Yeah, the floods actually.
Because initially, it was just around this enclave. The Kaneshi, the Osu enclave, that area. Now it is in Ashoman Estate.
East Legon Hills.
East Legon Hills.
Yes.
It's getting worse.
Yeah.
And Emefa, I read small geography in SS. The Kwiapem Togo range. We had some forest there. Kwiapem Togo range. So when you're heading towards the Bri, that enclave, the mountain, it's called the Kwiapem Togo range. The trees that are supposed to be there to, if you like, create a certain blockade for the drains, for the debris from the hill. All those trees have been cut down.
Yeah,
to make way,
people want to build on
to make way for real estate development. Go and see the place. So when it rains, now the debris just slides down without anything blocking it. And your Ramsar site has also been besieged. So we have a serious issue. And then are there not thinkers in this country? People are not thinking. The entitlement mentality, I don't know. You see, I want to be very measured because otherwise I may insult people. It's sad.
It's early. Let me ask, I wonder, does it feel like a hopeless situation for you? But first of all, Kwame, do you feel it's a hopeless situation?
You see, I have hope.
Okay.
But my hope is in evidence. We have some. We say there's a settled, hopeless expectation.
Yeah.
Hopeless expectation.
That's where you want to stay.
Of some solution.
Okay.
But I think that with the right attitude and with right leadership, a leader who has that strong political will, we should be able to deal with this. Because if we bring down those buildings sitting on waterways, if we're able to desilt and ensure that there's compliance in respect of making our drainages clean and punishing people who litter here and there, we should be able to at least bring it down to the barest minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Wanda, if you have somebody who's got the political will, but you still have the same set of people as citizens, could you achieve the results?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Emefa. Good morning, my learned brother, and good morning to our cherished viewers. I must say the issue about this perennial flooding is worrying. It's worrying. Yesterday I went on Facebook and I tried to get the sentiment. Somebody asked, so what's the solution to this flooding? You know the response somebody gave? You say, go and check our BC 2011 past question. You will see the solutions there. And it's true. We've discussed this. On basic schools, we've discussed this. Look, we were told rural-urban drifts. And it's true. Everybody now wants to live in Accra. Everybody wants to move from rural, for his community, to Accra.
Is it their fault?
That is why we need to improve the economy, the rural economy. But that's what is creating all of this. Ideally, rains should not be a curse. Rains are supposed to be blessings. But now it appears in Ghana, rains have become a curse. That's what is happening. But the fact, some years ago, we were begging for rains. You remember Akosua Dam? President Akufo had to send pastors there to pray because we needed water for power generation. Now the rains are coming. Farmers are supposed to be happy. But why are we all crying? Let me take you through some of the problems. When you go to individual homes, everybody now wants to do pavement. Concrete everywhere. I tell people, at least leave some space for gardening and stuff. So the water, there will be passage. Everybody is doing concrete pavement and there are no drains even in front of their house. So ask yourself, when the water comes out, where does it go to? But I'm happy that the NDC, we are taking deliberate steps to improve the rural economy.
How so?
Look, this Akoko and Kitin, if it's done properly and the poultry business become booming, people may not want to come to Accra in the first place. The big push agenda, if we have a good road network, the yam, tea, and all of that can be transported to Accra with ease. Some of us have even said that the voter lake transport, if they get the ferry and all those things working properly, the major roads will not even be used.
The pontoons.
Exactly.
Those ferries.
Exactly. The 24-hour market, if it's active, of course, we are now constructing this in government, which is barely 2 years in government. It will take time. But I'm just telling you that we need to improve the rural economy. That's where the solution lies. Look out for the rains, they will not stop. It will not stop raining. The rains will keep coming.
And people won't stop looking for a place to live when they come to Accra. All I need is a container, find somewhere, and plant it. Yeah?
And I'll take you to Tema when he's done.
Look, another issue we need to talk about is the issue of permits. Most of the buildings in Accra do not have permits. I can tell you this for a fact. The processes of acquiring permits includes, it's a committee, EPA,
yes,
the police, the engineers, surveyors, they're all on the committee.
But building a house is not like making some stew in your kitchen. It's very evidential. Once you start digging, the people who are responsible
Emefa,
should even stop before
there are people who, when they start, they themselves will write, please stop work and produce permit. Almost see we are, then they will clean it. In Accra here. They themselves will write. And there are people, look, I know one engineer that he told...
So wait, if you write produce permit, that's what I usually will see, or stop work.
Yes.
Stop work, produce permit.
I'm telling you that.
If you write it, well, then the agency that is involved, me, I'll see it and I'll believe it. But the agencies whose work 24/7 is to ensure it cannot identify it.
Ghana, excuse me to say, we are not thorough. Look, let me tell you something. I know one engineer. One day I was having a call. I was with him. Then an MP called. That, why do you ask your guys to go and stop work here? He said, honorable, but you people pass the law. Do politicians, do we agree that we can allow public servants, those in the civil service, to perform their work like engineers?
But the technocrats at the district assembly level, they're not politicians, are they?
That's what I'm telling you, the political pressure that comes on them.
Okay.
Emefa, if you are building on a waterway and they go to stop your work, by virtue of what you see, politicians come here and all of that, maybe you will just call one person, it's me there or how. They've stopped.
Actually, there's a case in point in Ga East, a Shoman area where somebody who can afford a certain amount of money has been able to build on a waterway. And when it rains, the water is not just in the way, it's in people's rooms, bedrooms. There are,
area?
yeah.
I live in that.
I need to get you the location. I can show you the videos. But it is in Ga East and it's in Ashoma. So whether it's an old area, because I mean, one of my colleagues went there yesterday and went to see it. What's worrying is that there are people who are young like you and I, who are not even in the country, and they have their parents who are unwell, who live in the house, who are in their bedrooms, and when it rains, the water is coming and they can't do much about it. It's very visible. Where the MP for that area cut sword for a road construction, that particular area, there's supposed to be a bridge that is supposed to help the drainage. But
I've seen the
because
house.
of where the building is sitting.
I've seen the house. I've seen the house. I've seen the building. Where it is, it's done. And so they've narrowed that.
You've seen the place?
Yeah, no, I live there. They've narrowed
to people's houses.
Yeah, and even the bridge that they recently constructed, they've also narrowed it. So
I hear the bridge covered the major problem.
Yes.
So it's not that the bridge is supposed to give solution, but it's actually causing more problems.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let me, in London, quite recently, I visited a circuit court judge around the Nungwa enclave. I won't mention the exact place. When I visited him, I said, my lord, look at this. Where's the road? He said, a woman here has bought the adjoining land for the children, and they've closed the road. So if now there's fire, where would the tender? The fire? Yes. It's a problem. We need our attitude. We'll talk about the wastage and all of that, but sometimes, and I'm happy that the president addressed this at the town hall meeting in North London over the weekend. Ghanaians in the diaspora are worried about these issues. Somebody raised it that look, they stay out there, they struggle to get money, they send money down, build property. By the time they realize, did you see Sir John's alleged will in public?
The will?
Yes.
Okay, what's it got to do with it?
He was the CEO of Forestry Commission.
Yeah.
The Ramsar site. Look at the number of allocation to his children. The Ramsar site. So if the same person, that's why may his soul rest in peace. That's for the purpose of the discussion. Emefa.
Yes, wonder.
If the CEO of Forestry Commission allocates Ramsar site to his children in that magnitude, can he stop people building on the Ramsar site? Will he have the moral will and the political will to stop persons building on the Ramsar?
That's why I asked the question. Even if you have so two issues, you have the citizens with the same attitude, then you have leaders who may have or may not have the political will. Which one is easy to implement? So we start pushing that. Which one can we change?
Recently, there was some demolition there. What did we not hear? So, you're talking about NDC. Next election, you're being with you. The MPP were kind of funding it. So you could see that now everything has become about political expediency. And I'm happy that the president has made it clear that they will crack the whip, they will do a demolition, they will demolish buildings that are at unwanted places.
I mean, housing deficit, whatever it is, people must sleep. Anna, so what's your demolition?
It must comply with the laws, Emefa. I mean, you cannot build on waterways and expect that if it's creating problems.
But do people know it is waterway? Like, do they know? Because in Siono, yeah, but because it's in the way.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that, for instance, what he said, people have bought lands at maybe Ramsar site.
Do they know?
So, of course, as for Ramsar site, all of us know that it is a place for the water to settle. When they flow from the Togo Range, it settles there. Everybody knows it. But the point I'm making is that people think that the only place one can live is in Accra. So even though all the lands are almost nearly sold out in Accra, if there are some pockets of lands that are available, people want to just take advantage of that, right? So they know. But what makes it worse is that the assembly or the the municipality that grants the licenses or the local authorities that grant the licenses are the ones that I have an issue with. That you, even if the person who bought the land is oblivious of whatever it is, you should be able to tell them that you cannot build here and you must not issue permits to them.
Yeah, but
and Wanda says yes. No, but a place as crucial as Ramsar site should be where the spotlight must always be. So I think that we just have to ensure strict compliance. For me, it is not always, focusing our arguments on the problems alone. It is now the time for us to proffer solutions and ensure that we enforce those solutions that we are proffering. That we're saying that all buildings that are in waterways or sitting on waterways, whatever it is, we must demolish those buildings. We must crack the political whip. That is the only way we can deal with this matter. And again, we must also invest in better drainages.
Yeah.
Emefa, there are roads which have been constructed which do not have drainages or gutters. Even in my area, they have asphalted roads. They don't have gutters. Mm-hmm. How do you expect the water to flow when it rains?
Some areas also have.
It is just lack of proper planning.
Some areas also have gutters, and the gutters have become life-threatening.
Good. So the point is that there's no connectivity. You see, we should be able to plan it such that when it rains and it goes through this gutter, it must terminate at another gutter. But it will get to the place where there is no gutter, okay? And then it cannot terminate there. Also, we have highlands and lowlands, right? When people are building in lowlands, they fill the place up. So when it rains and the water is supposed to go down the hill, but they fill it such that they can put up their structure. When it gets to that point, there is no avenue for
the water to pass.
Absolutely. That's really the problem.
So the Greater Accra Regional Minister, I'd say the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council, released a statement and says that Accra will no longer be a sanctuary for indiscipline. Now, Greater Accra Regional Minister announces decisive measures to strengthen compliance, public safety and urban governance. And Kwame, that's exactly where you were coming from.
Yes.
So it says that as the Greater Accra Regional Minister and a resident of this great region, I'm deeply saddened by the tragic events that unfolded across Greater Accra on 3rd June 2026. And on behalf of the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council, I extend my heartfelt condolences to the families who've lost loved ones and those who sustain injuries and all individuals whose homes and businesses and livelihoods have been affected. In fact, I want to go straight to where she professes some solutions. The collapse of a multi-story building in Adenta new site in Lankwantana Medina municipality. We will mourn affected families, but we must also confront the reality that many of these incidents could have been prevented through greater compliance with regulation and stronger enforcement of existing laws. Far too long, unauthorized development, indiscriminate waste disposal, encroachment on waterways, disregard for planning regulations, and weak enforcement mechanisms have undermined efforts to build a safe, orderly, and resilient capital. The consequences are reflected not only in damaged infrastructure and economic losses, but most importantly in the loss of lives. So I must state unequivocally that responsibility does not rest solely with members of the public. We must also acknowledge that lapses in oversight and enforcement within some public institutions have contributed to these challenges. And as Regional Minister, I am committed to ensuring that accountability, professionalism, and strict adherence to the law become the hallmark of governance within Greater Accra region. Basically, she's giving some...
Emefa,
yeah?
These are all rhetoric.
Oh,
Massa. That's where I'm from. Is it not the same minister who says she's going to provide street lights and things like that? I don't believe in whatever it is that she's saying. I'm telling you the truth. Because it's not as though we don't know what the problems are. We do know, as we speak today, does she have data on the drainages that we even have in Accra? Does she have that data?
It's a good question.
Can she provide the data of the drainages that we have? Can she tell us the ones that are functioning and the ones that are not functioning? Can she tell us that? Can she tell us the number of buildings that are sitting on waterways? Does she have that data? She doesn't have the data. I can tell you that she doesn't have the data. Rhetorical every time, just, making political statements. and it is demonstrably clear to all of us that they don't have the political. Look, a lot of decisions go into some of these things, that you think that you can simply get up one day and say we are going to do X, Y, Z. It has ramifications, and they must discuss it and know whether or not indeed it will serve the interests of the government. But you see, the point is that what is the essence of government? If government is not able to address teething challenges confronting the people say that, okay, that is why I said it's binary. Of course, in one breath, the people are also responsible for our own woes, right? But in another breath, it's also the government. But then you are looking at who has the superior authority to ensure compliance. Yes, citizens, when you leave us, we will always misbehave. We are like animals. We always must be shepherded, superintended over. But then the larger conversation sits with authority, people that we have voted for to ensure that the people are protected. So why is it that they are refusing to do what they ought to do? Why?
Maybe they want to maintain
this will come 11 years ago. 11. Who was in power? Who was in government at the time? 11 years ago. Which administration was in power? Was it not the NDC that was in power? What became of the recommendations that came out? So every time people will go and sit and they will do committees, they will sit and drink coffee, take allowances, certain allowances. And then when it comes to implementing the recommendations by those committees, then we leave it unattended.
The challenge now that the committees don't get to be the ones implementing the
but that's the point I'm making. That is why I'm saying that it requires just more than rhetorics. It requires strong political will. A government that is willing to sacrifice the next elections to say that this is a problem that is affecting all of us. I do not care whether or not I lose the next election. I'm going to ensure that the right things are done.
Wanda, can you pledge that on behalf of your party?
Oh, I have just told you that the president in North London at the town hall meeting made it clear that, look,
regardless, we're going to crack the whip.
Yes, that's
okay. That's
and this is a legacy regime. President Mahama has a good opportunity to because
because after all, what does he lose?
And you see, we have even started. Like I pointed earlier, the La area, there were some demolitions there. You could feel the sentiment. People keep saying that, oh, this is not what we voted for. We didn't vote for to come and make us homeless and all of that. But we must also look at the fundamental issues. And I'm happy President Mahama is addressing the issue of having a strong rural economy. And this will prevent people from moving from the rural areas to the urban centers.
Okay.
And I've told you, if, for example, the Akoko and Kintin program is strengthened and the poultry business is booming, there will be no need for people to rush to Accra. I want to agree with you that Accra now is becoming so tense. And you said rightly that when people come to Accra, they need a place to sleep. Yeah. That's a fact. And I'm also happy with the big push agenda. If you go to OT, that enclave, the yam and all of that, how this product gets to Accra is another issue. Yeah. And I'm happy that the Volta Lake transport, we are, they fall under VR. We are trying to strengthen them so that the ferries, those who want to transport their goods, will not even have to use the major road network. If all of this is done, then we will see changes. I've said that rains ordinarily should be a blessing, but it appears in Ghana, rains has become a curse. Okay. We were in this country where President Akufo took pastors to Akosua to pray just for rains.
Today you have the rains.
So that there will be power generation. Today, we have rains and we are running away from rains. Why? Because everybody now, when you go to people's home, like I said earlier, pavement, concrete, there are no place for water to flow. Thank you.
I'll say thank you.
I just wanted to, before you go to Paul, respectfully, I just wanted to make this point. A friend of mine is watching the show. He sent me a message right now. He says the Tema Ramsar site buildings have become a business where people occupy those sites are alleged to pay the assembly for cooked permits, and these are alleged to be forced down the throats of the TDC. There are lawyers and politicians who live.
Let me tell you something about that. Let me tell you something about the Ramsar site. I used to live at Clark.
Prof, I'll come to you shortly. While I will come to you.
Somebody bought a land at the Ramsar site, and I advised him that but this place was demolished under Professor Mills. So what's the guarantee? So now he mentioned some minister here also has a plot there. He says the coordinating director of the Atema West also have a plot there. So once those people have plot there,
he's secure.
Yes, the people make this argument. That's true. People make this argument that once,
and I said next year we'll be here discussing.
And you know the funny thing, Emefa.
That's true.
Let me tell you, you see how Once demolition is done, people pass back to start buying
the same land.
Yes. And those
the highest bidder matter,
and
right?
those whose lands, those whose buildings are demolished, feel like they have the right of first refusal. Like, you have to sell it to me first. They come back. What is it?
Wow.
What is it?
Prof, but let's close this topic because we know where it is headed. Next year we'll be here having the same discussion. But Prof, good morning. We've been joined by Professor Akufo-Addo. Usually and normally you'd find him at the accounting department of the UPSA. Prof, it's good to have you.
You look beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Good morning to my good friends. Kwame.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you.
Likewise.
You said something that next year we'll come back here again. Those lotto forecasters can pick the number and it will drop, because next year we'll come back here again. When you have a country that, as a citizen, I'm complaining, and the one who has been given power is so complaining, it means there's no solution. We vote to give powers to people to govern us. So when I sit here in the morning, I'm complaining. The one who has the power is also complaining. It means there's no solution to the problem. I hear people have attributed the rains on the 3rd June to spiritual issues.
Hey, really?
Yes, I
was tempted to ask if there's a demon that is quite thirsty for blood.
It happened on the 3rd.
Yeah.
And on the 3rd, the same thing. Okay. Some people
fires
died.
and the building collapse.
Now it's becoming a lot of forecasters. You see, it is interesting. A friend of mine had a son who traveled to Canada for his undergraduate education. When he came back home, he was in the morning, was in his room, quiet, and the father walked to the room and asked him, Fee, why are you quiet? He said, in Canada, when you're outside, you have only one problem to think about. That's yourself. But when you come to Ghana, you have two problems to think about. You think about yourself and you think about the country. Two problems. So we are all saddled with two different problems. When I think about my personal problems, I must also think for the nation, how things should be done for us to move on. This is where we find ourselves today. You know, when we have companies, waste management companies, their contracts are cancelled on flimsy excuses. Wages are not paid and all that. And we don't get the substitute. People are also competent to take up. We cancel those contracts very close to the rainy season. What do you expect? Do we know our priorities as a country? We didn't have any substitute. They are doing things anyhow. And you call me, I should profile solution. For me, as I sit here, I can only comment, raise issues. Who are those who are to implement? I give you a typical example. These young people on the streets, the Nigerians, those who are on the streets, do we know their number as of today?
Every now and then.
When they want to free their stomach, empty their stomach, ask yourself, which facilities do they use? Which facilities?
Wow.
Ask yourself, where?
But why has Emefa done a face like that?
Why would I
never thought of that.
Face like
No,
that?
never thought of that.
We are quiet.
My face like that.
You see there over 100 people on the streets. Morning, where would they get to empty their stomach? Afternoon, evenings, they'll package all this and throw into the gutters.
Hey.
Then when it rains, water cannot get a place to pass. Then we sit here, we complain. If I think it's time to even stop talking about it, because I don't know the solution. I don't know what we can do. Whether it's a traditional issue, spiritual issue, or the lack of political issue, I cannot tell. Because of one breath. Today, we ask a lot of people, so these ministers, haven't they schooled outside? Haven't they traveled? They have not seen things outside before. Yes, they have. Get the same minister to come into our country and is given a position. And it says that your area, the structures are unauthorized, so you have to demolish. He starts one. The people in the area will go and talk to the father talk to your son. What he's doing, we don't like it. He tries a second time, the third time. The mother at dawn, that's the best time we talk to our children. They'll come to you. Kwesi, adia we enjoy ebeha. Kwesi must listen to the mother. He said, Mommy, we don't do this here. We should not do it because the rains. We're going to have issues when it rains. So please, let me continue. He starts again. Then the next day, the same dawn, the mother walks to the house. Because what I've told you, if you don't listen, you are a mama yes. He's finished.
You know African mothers, Papa.
Oh, he's finished.
You really, really know African mothers. And that would definitely cut deep.
He's gone. What can he do again? So is it our tradition or religion?
I don't know where it's just a jamboree of a lot of things, eh? Okay, so 4 guests, 3 are on almost the same page. Wow. You have some solution that the government can hear.
We'll still be on the same page. Good morning to our charity viewers and good morning to them as well. And thank you so much for the opportunity. I think when you check the problems in Accra, almost all the problems, the one at the Ramsar site, the one at the Dansomani area and so on, all the problems are as a result of building on the waterways. When you check almost all the problems, because you see that indeed the water do not have places to pass and they enter into houses. And some had already built on the waterway, so the water had to enter the houses and so on. It is only few places like Ashoman and so on that they are saying that this is the first time they are seeing this. I've seen a lot of interviews on all your networks when people complain that this is the first time we're seeing this for maybe a long while. But the rest of the challenges are building on waterways. And on this table, everyone is talking about it, that the government must ensure there is compliance. When you're building a house in this country, you need to go for the permit. If you're even sending electricity in your house, we have the law that says that you have to present your permit before they can even get you meters in this country. Even electricity, you have to present the building permit before you are connected to the grid. But who is to ensure there is compliance? It's rests with the government. I am not talking about this government, but over the years, the government must be up and doing, especially the assemblies. Last year, after this, within this period, the president set up a 7-member committee headed by the Deputy Chief of Staff, Standogwe. And when you read their terms of reference, you'll be shocked. Even right now, go and read their terms of reference. One of the things that they have to do is to do emergency desilting in collaboration with the 48 engineering regiments. Throughout the year, how many times have you seen these soldiers over there doing these desiltings and so on? None. That is the reason when we set up any committee, people are skeptical about whether the committee will be effective. That's why I am personally against setting number of any committee to look into any disaster, because they had not really given us any concrete solutions. Because if the committee is there and the president asked them to work year round, that was what the president said, so that they make sure that they prevent these things. If the assembly around La Nkwantanan had called on this committee, or the committee had called on them, and the military people are there to do the demolition. You see?
But usually when a government sets up a committee and the committee sits and they have recommendations, they hand over the recommendations to the government.
But you see, what the president asked them to do is a year-round work.
So they should be doing recommendations every year?
No, within the period, when they see that these areas are choked, they speak with the 48 engineering regiments.
Okay, so the duty was lying on the committee members to ensure that the 48 engineering regiment will be the ones
who will do the emergency
So
disruption.
they were not just a committee that's sitting, they were a committee that was supposed to enforce as well.
Exactly. Because when you check, we read the terms of reference, because I read through, and I saw that indeed, if the committee had been up and doing, I know they will collaborate with the assemblies for them to tell them that these are waterways, these are areas that we can demolish. Because
This is interesting that we have the assemblies, but the committee would have to be the one telling the assembly that this is a waterway.
Look at Ofanko.
Yeah?
Look at
Ofanko
barrier. If it rains for 30, that's where I live. If it rains for 25 to 30 minutes, the place will be.
Your place there is bad.
You can't go.
Ofanko.
Yes. Even down there, you can't just move. Even cars coming from Kumasi cannot.
Yeah, it's bad.
Is it not the road that is on?
There is a building over there.
Construction is ongoing.
No, there is a building. No, not that.
Or the inner road.
When you're going to Achimota, yes, the main road. When you're going to Sotum, just that small roundabout down there.
It's terrible.
When it rains for 30 minutes, you can't use the road. There's a building there and a filling station. I remember 4 years or 3 years ago, the MCE there decided to do some demolition exercise. Some of us and everyone says that it is that story building that is sitting on the waterway. That if you clear that story building, the water will have a way.
Is the story building?
It's still there.
So what did he demolish?
He demolished some structures and left them. You understand? So if you have the military coming, you see, it is not really about demolition, because you can even demolish and create further problems, because the assemblies can demolish and create further problems. But if you have engineers doing the demolition, they know that they will demolish here and give away.
There will be a sign.
Because if you break, I've seen a lot of the breaking of the houses and so on. They break them and put them on the same waterway. Get engineers to do this work.
Yeah.
So that at least if we have the military and we know the military can
deal with it, the ones in the assembly, because Kwame, you know this Ashoma that I'm talking about. There's a petition that the engineers did that. Maybe I should use survey. I don't understand construction terminologies, but the engineer confirms that where that building is sitting is a problem. But it's as if the engineer doesn't have the will.
Collaborate with the military people. When the military people come in, they will know that, okay, so demolish here, push it here, do this. When they see military people standing there, you know this country.
Well, that's to help you. So the same people will come back and say SSs, military SSs. Military are not supposed to. You know this.
Nobody will have the discussion here.
So they are engineers.
They are engineers.
When we got the military people to clear this Kumasi Expressway, you had a sentiment in this country.
So let me ask
That's what Prof is saying. That if you in government
it's not complaining. We are having a general discussion.
Must we give
But you heard the president. The president says that regardless, we're pushing through, we are cutting through. So why are you worried about what Ghanaians?
No, I'm happy. I've just told you. I mean, the president made it clear.
So I think the most important thing is that let's get the military people.
So you like this rain out right now? If it rains, that's why we're speaking. No. If it rains, you come after 30 minutes.
You can't go. No, you still be around looking for the water to recede before you can go, or you have to go through Sotum and come back again. You have to pass through La Paz, go through Sotum, then you can come back and enter Asofan if you want to.
You remember that when we did the demolition at La, people started doing politics with it. You know,
but again, I'm back with you. Wanda, you said
that's normal.
Political will.
Are you afraid?
Ask for the politics.
It's normal.
No, but he knows. All of us know that when people would not
advantage of all of them.
I said that President Mahama should be the best candidate to do this because he's got absolutely nothing to lose.
And he's also going.
He's not afraid of election.
Oh, of course, like I said, it's a legacy regime and he's doing massive.
But what you need to understand is that it's not about him. It's about the party.
But we need to also caution.
So that people say that because you think that you are leaving.
They should discuss it at home.
But the most important thing is that he will leave a legacy that one day when you're talking, for instance, today, if you talk about Free Senior High School, you talk about Akufo-Addo.
This demolition you're talking about, when did it happen? Is it under the NDC or NPP? The one in your area?
Yeah,
the one that was
3 years ago. Oh, it was reported widely that the guy is doing well, he has cleared it. And really, today, the water will recede.
It's okay.
But no, the water will recede. But it will take a time. It will take like 30 minutes to 1 hour before the water can.
But do you know why your MC at the time refused to demolish that story building you are talking about?
Well,
you don't know who political will.
But what I want to bring our attention to is whether or not we have a budget for redevelopment or planning. You know, so for instance, do we have like proper data identifying all the flood-prone areas the buildings on those waterways.
Oh, no, we have.
Nadmo has. And the first step is to demolish.
Nadmo has.
The first step is to demolish.
Wait. I have not seen it. I don't know whether you've seen it.
No, Nadmo has.
I've been doing journalism for close to 20 years. I've not seen it.
Oh no, we have.
Yeah,
we have.
Okay, have you seen it?
We have.
Have you seen it?
Oh yes.
Have you seen it?
Oh yes. National Development Planning Committee.
National Development Planning Committee. If they don't have the budget, why aren't they speaking?
So we're speaking the same language. Okay. I'm saying that is there a budget for redevelopment and replanning? Do we have a budget for it?
There's a component.
No budget for planning.
That's the point I'm making.
Redevelopment and replanning.
So we are a country of knee-jerk reactors, if you like, if there's a word.
Yeah.
That we always like to solve the problem after it has happened.
Yeah.
We don't prevent it, and that is why we are having this conversation.
You remember President Addo?
That's the problem.
President Addo went to one of the lagoons and was with the engineers. They said, within 18 months they will be dredging and all of that. But here we are, same story. But the good news,
yes, is that what?
This government has the political will.
The one that Nanado didn't do, this government has a political will.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Next year around this time, we
will not discuss this.
Don't worry.
We will not discuss this. We have the political will.
Over time, there are a lot of things that have happened that indeed, look at Kaneshi First Light. You know, it used to flood even after 10 minutes of rain and so on. We constructed a very big gutter there, and now at least it doesn't flood. And there are a lot of places like that. So I know that if we are really to be focused on this, where is the Works and Housing Minister now? I've not heard from him.
At the ministry?
No, I've not heard from him. Okay. Because you see, we're only hearing from NADMO, and their key responsibilities, they have even not, because one of the things that they are supposed to do is for them to do education before this time.
Yeah.
They don't do.
You want the minister to do a press conference?
Because I'm managing my time, we're going to have to move to... Wanda has given us assurance next year, June.
I hear they are going to do an award for the best ministers and very soon.
They did the best CEOs and some...
I'm sure they should hold on for now.
But Prof was talking about minister quickly. No,
I said they've done with the CEOs.
But Prof was not talking about CEOs. Hey, wow.
is the best.
Hey, wow.
Anyway,
let's go to the LGBT.
But so far so good. I mean, so far so good. Yeah.
Quickly, so Master Planner Junior says that President Addo committed about $230 million to construct various drainage systems to deal with his flood issues in Accra. One at Adenta Snake Flat, another at Hacho, around Wisconsin, another at Santa Maria, and one at Nima, and several others. Yeah. He's asking, do you know the interesting thing? All these projects have been abandoned after change of government, and these are taxpayers' money from paid by the citizens, but we ignore it for some citizens to suffer. So sad, Mother Ghana. This is from Master Planner. The $230 million was a commitment, right? Yes. Is it that the fund is available?
They even started because the Nima one, and this year for the first time I've seen that Nima
we'll look into this.
It's interesting. I'm saying that the Nima one, you know, they started from somewhere, got to a place and it got stuck. Now those after where it got stuck, that
why did
place
they get
got
stuck?
flooded. I don't
Funding
know. The contractor was not on site.
And for
the first time Nima flooded.
You know that when people get employment, and you even tell them that they should work in their district back home. If people get job, let's say ECG or Ghana Water, and say they should work in their district, they get angry. Everybody wants to come and work in Accra.
Yeah, but because everything is saturated in Accra. But for this year's legal regime, but for this year's legal regime, if you lived in North and you wanted to go to law school, you had to relocate to Accra.
Oh, but we have changed. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But
there's no money for the implementation of your legal regime.
Scanny hall.
Talk
about the LGBT.
But we didn't talk about the chiefs, eh?
The chiefs and the road.
Who give the lands out? These chiefs.
I mean, you have said it that it is multifaceted, these issues. And
the chief can give you, but the chief cannot authorize you to build.
That is the issue.
Now,
it is the assembly. No, he can sell it to you. But if you don't get permit from the assembly,
why is the chief
selling that?
He's supposed to sell.
Why?
The land
waterways.
over there.
No, they should sell waterways.
Not the waterways.
They should sell waterways.
Not the waterways. But I'm saying that they sell, even after selling.
Yes.
they will have to go to the assembly for permit. And that is where
the first point of course, don't sell it.
They shouldn't sell waterways. For waterways, they shouldn't sell it. We beg them.
This guy
we beg them. Let's appeal to them.
They are not supposed to sell the waterways.
If not, they'll start selling rose.
Yes.
If not, they'll start selling rose.
I would never go.
Let's beg them. If not, they'll start selling rose. Let's beg them. Let's beg them to stop selling waterways. Let's beg our kids. It's wrong.
Oh dear.
Well, let's talk about LGBT. The minority in Parliament have made their position quite clear. They say that the bill that was presented to Parliament in 2024, that was passed, should be presented, and the President should assent to that one. Would you say?
From one issue to another. Ghana from rain to LGBT.
Is it too sharp?
Well, I mean, it's a good progression. What can we do?
Okay. Because after the House, anyway.
This is one of the most sensitive and consequential policy debate in Ghana today. The reason being that it borders on one sovereignty issue. It borders also on human rights. It has economic implications as well, constitutional issues, and then we can talk about our culture. It's a bit discussing it. For me, I state my position all the time. I don't support this act, not the act, but the issue about LGBT and all those things. For me, I was born when I came to the world. I got to know just a man and a woman. That's it. I don't support anything else. Finally, the bill was passed. I must say my position. I'm not wrong to say that. The bill has been passed. We have back and forth. Now we are it's not about whether we support or we don't support. It's about whether the government, the president must sign, send signature, or it goes back again for them to make some amendment to reflect the constitutional part of it, whether economically sound or has international implications. These are things that they are trying to work on. We have had some arguments. People have said they should look at the first draft, the first document, and then the second document. Where we have some variations, we should find a way to correct them. I support that a bill must reflect, it must be sound constitutionally. And if there are some other ambiguities, they must be looked at again. So if you go back to the story, I don't know whether you heard what the speaker said. Did he travel? He wasn't there. But they had a deputy who chaired that occasion, and it was passed. He returns, and he tells the entire nation he wasn't there. He gave them mandate. He gave the instruction that they shouldn't pass. They should consider, but they should not pass. I don't know if I'm giving the right narratives.
Yes, that's what he said.
And it's been passed. I don't know how they do their things in Parliament, but for me, I would say that both the Speaker and the Deputy must be hauled before the Privilege Committee. The two of them should be hauled before the Privilege Committees to answer why, because it's a big issue. You have a deputy you cannot trust. Why did you leave such occasion, the consideration stage? Why did he leave? Why did he travel? Was he not well? But when he came back, you made the whole international community, we are aware what happened over there. So if we were to have a major policy to be passed on that day, would he have come back to tell us this? It has happened not once. This, I think, the second time. And now from the majority group, they declined your request. They said, no, we'll still go ahead. So I think they, two of them, must be held to answer questions and leave us alone. They must answer questions. Let's change the conversation a bit. Look at the economic implication about this whole policy. And I said it has economic implications. As a country, have we done an impact assessment of the economic part of this bill? I don't support and it must be passed. But once we are having time conversation to look at it, a committee or the finance minister should be able to tell us, because every policy will have a trade-off, an implication.
Yeah.
Because this group, they also support other countries. So our minister should be able to tell us, if this bill is passed, this is how much we are going to lose in terms of our revenue. And therefore, we are proposing these initiatives to get the same money back. Remember, I don't know whether you have find out why we went to IMF the last time and why the DDP also came up. When the then minister made an announcement, or this same bill was presented to Parliament, the number of international companies that took their funds out of the country, enormous. And at that point, some of these things are not spoken publicly. But I can tell you, some international organizations are likely to have their funds back home, and that will have an impact. It is time, whilst we are having conversations about this, we do an impact assessment of this particular bill. That when it's passed, the government finally assents signature to it, we are likely to have a loophole. And therefore, these are the avenues that we are going to use to cushion up, to have more revenue coming in. That's my concern. But let me end by saying that if we trust the committee, I don't know the committee, I mentioned the committee.
In Parliament,
in Parliament.
Those who consider the bill, or those who...
Constitutional and...
No, the Privileges Committee.
Okay, where you want both...
Immediately they should call Speaker and then the Deputy to answer questions.
Well, that's good, because the lawyer, the legal...
It doesn't speak well as a country.
Kwame, before I go to... two lawyers here. So what happened in Parliament that day, I have decided to break it down into three. One breath, I hear the Speaker say, because of the nature of this law, he would prefer that there'll be clean consensus, where after the passing of it, you're not now having one side saying that, oh no, we have a problem with this side, so there should be some consensus. That I put it here. Then the next minute, I hear the Speaker say that it seems as though the process which this law went through can amount to a certain level of illegality because it didn't follow due process. Then, when I put these two together, I'm likely to go with Prof to say that I'm now looking at Parliament that, okay, I know that our clauses in our laws provide that there is one Speaker, but I've seen a Deputy Speaker sit in the chair and preside at Speaker as well. What does this decision, if indeed the bill is reversed back to Parliament to reconsider, what does it mean to previous bills that had been considered in Parliament when he wasn't around?
Your concerns are very legitimate, and it is very disconcerting that we are even having to have this conversation at this material moment. I do want to state it emphatically that all of us are aware of the core functions of Parliament. Parliament is supposed to pass laws, and Parliament, by its nature, has its own internal rules which guide the processes of passing laws, which is known as the standing orders of Parliament. And at all material times, Parliament must act in ways that finds expression in what is contained in the standing orders, but must also not veer away from what is contained largely in the Constitution. So everything that they do must be respected by the standing orders and must find proper expression within the broader context of the Constitution. But it's instructive to admit that Parliament is an independent arm of government. So they are to operate in a manner that ensures their continuous independence. Of course, we can have arguments about whether or not they are truly independent, but that's for another day. Now, you raise three important issues which ought to be addressed chronologically. The first issue you raise is a matter of consensus, or borders on consensus. And as expressed by the Speaker of Parliament, he, in his own estimation, has come to the conclusion that there is no consensus. To begin with, I don't know what is befuddling about the process which will lead him to conclude that there's no consensus, because I have sat on platforms with some leading members of the NPP who are not opposed to the passage of the bill. Indeed.
In fact, the committee that sat on that bill is headed by the NPP.
Absolutely. I have sat on platforms with them. Even yesterday, I was on another platform with one of them, senior member. In fact, he is actually a member of that committee. He reiterated to me that, Kwame, there's no issue. So there's consensus on this matter. So the question of consensus and the confusion lingering in the mind of the speaker is, very confusing to me as well. So I don't know what he meant when he said consensus.
Another pushback is there a law, is there a bill that ever passed in Parliament
that does not have
complete consensus?
Absolutely, it's never a possibility, except when they want to increase their emoluments and things like that. One, they are all in agreement, but that's for another day. Okay. Then you talk about
the procedural
the process amounting to illegality. I don't know.
Interestingly, he wasn't emphatic on the fact that it amounts to a certain level of illegality.
Yes.
He raises the fact that
it's procedurally flawed. Yes.
And then request for a reconsideration.
Yes. So that is. So we are saying the same. So essentially, I mean, look, and let me say this: I have again engaged members of Parliament who have the opinion that they have passed a law. They've passed it. There is nothing irregular about what they have done. In fact, they are very, very rigid in their position. That what the speaker is rather saying it is alien to the House. That they don't even know what the speaker is talking about. Because when the speaker is absent, the speaker, the House can be superintended over by the deputies. And business must go on, business must happen, irrespective of whether or not the speaker is present. Yes. The speaker may have his own view about some of the provisions in the act or in the bill, right? He may have his own views, and he reserves the right to hold those views. But he must not be seen to be imposing his views on what has happened in Parliament, or because of his own views. He wants a reconsideration of the bill so that his views will be taken into consideration.
Do you know what this does to me?
Tell me.
As a journalist, when he's not superintending in Parliament, or when he's not sitting and a deputy is sitting, I am going to not have confidence in the process.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So it's like a headmaster who thinks that he's the sole repository of knowledge. You see, that is how he comes across to me. The speaker is coming across as somebody who thinks that he's the sole repository of knowledge and he understands the rules and the standing orders of Parliament better than any other person.
But if you look at the architecture of Parliament, is that not it?
But you see, these are elected members who have been given the mandate to perform a certain function. Right? What is the function? To pass laws. Now, it goes through processes: first reading, second reading, third reading. Has it gone through the processes? Were they able to review what is contained therein? Because indeed, when I spoke to one of the committee members, he alluded to me that, Kwame, there are even some aspects of it which we're taking out. People are talking about, is it clause 9 or clause 8 or something like that? But he said that there were other clauses which they even took out. So they've done that. They did all those considerations and they came to the final conclusion that, yes, this should go.
He's quite big on the fact that members of Parliament should have been furnished with the bill for them to be familiarized with it before. But the majority leader also suggests that they did the processes to abridge.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying, that is he by this saying that the bill which has been passed, right, is irregular? Is that what he's saying? Parliament has done its job. Its job is to pass the bill. The next stage is the transmission of the bill to His Excellency the President. If the President so decides that there are some aspects of the law which ought to be relooked at, he can bring it back to Parliament for reconsideration. And even then, the President cannot force Parliament, because that's what I'm saying, that Parliament is an independent institution. So even the executive cannot force its views on Parliament. We can talk about the bill itself, and I hold very strong views very strong opposing views in relation to this whole human sexual whatever it is. I have a different opinion. And I don't subscribe to it. I don't believe in it. I don't support it. But it has
making
been
it a law?
You're making it a law. I thought it's much ado about nothing. We are talking about floods in Accra. We are talking about unemployment. We are talking about so many very important things, right? And as a nation, we think that our preoccupation should be about passing a law that will criminalize people's private engagement. I find that to be very troubling. So I don't want to go veer into that.
The law itself.
But we must also respect procedure. The speaker must respect procedure. The speaker superintends over people who have been elected by constituencies to represent them. And I dare say that this is an amplification of the views of the people within those constituencies. Once they are passed it, they pass it.
Okay.
The speaker has no business in asking them to
This morning
reconsider the bill.
I have a difficult task of managing very little time. So Wanda, let me hear you. So the NPP says that the 2024 bill, which the NDC said was good, should be presented and passed.
Thank you very much. Let me just deal with some petty issues surrounding all of this. Prof rightly said there are some economic impact that comes with the passage of this bill and all of that. Because I'm in the immigration space, let me also state here that there are also immigration ramifications when it comes to issues about LGBTQ+. There are people who know that in this country, persons have even been denied visas just because of their stance on this issue.
True.
I'm telling you. So some of the MPs, some of those political actors, we know why they do not even want to comment on this. There's a reason why the US Embassy says that when you apply for visa, provide your social media account. And it's mandatory now. So there are a lot of reasons why people shy away from all of this. For me, I have lived with persons who belong to this category. During my time at the University of Florida, I have lived with them. I understand, I understand why they do what they do, but what does our culture say? So just to make it clear that the economic implications and there are also immigration implications when it comes to this matter. But now let's go to the law. Let me quickly dispatch the matter of whether the speaker was present or not. Let's go to Article 101 of the Constitution. It reads, and I quote verbatim in a sense, to say, the speaker shall preside in Parliament at all sittings, and in his absence, a deputy speaker shall preside. This is clear. Article 101. So what is the issue? That the speaker is not around, Parliament must stop working or what? The Constitution is clear that where the speaker is not available, a deputy speaker, pursuant to Article 101 of the 1992 Constitution, will sit in.
Is a matter about presiding, or if the speaker or whoever knows
about presiding.
It's clear.
I think it's so much about.
Emefa, let me move you to Article 106(7), just to expose the hypocrisy of the MPP. You remember the cease and desist letter?
Yeah.
Where the MPP said, look, under the previous regime, the presidency was not even ready to accept the transmission of the bill. The presidency was not ready because they know that there's circumstances where Parliament, the Constitution provides instances where Parliament can force the president to sign a bill into law. I'll read it here. You see, there are circumstances where the Parliament, the president will have no option but to sign a bill into law after certain stages. Let me read Article 106(7). It says, where a bill passed by Parliament is presented to the president for assent, he shall signify within 7 days after the presentation to the speaker that he assents to the bill or that he refuses to assent to the bill unless the bill has been referred by the president to the Council of State under Article 90 of this Constitution. Now, when the president decides not to assent to the bill or refuses to sign, or maybe refuses or refers it to the Council of State, he gives Parliament feedback. And if after consideration of all of this, let's go to Article 106. He says, where a bill reconsidered under Clause 9 of this article is passed by Parliament by a resolution supported by the vote of no less than 2/3 of all the members of Parliament, the President shall assent to it within 30 days after the passing of the resolution. Shall. So the President have no discretion when it has been considered under a a particular step. So, for example, if the president says that no, I have some concerns about this bill, it refers to the Council of State, comments come, it's gone back to Parliament, and now to third of it, pass it, the president will have to sign. Now, let me point out the hypocrisy of the MPP. They said that, look, there was some matters with the Supreme Court, before the Supreme Court. So because of that, it makes sense for Nana-Addo not to sign. Although the Constitution gives the remit, what you do if you do not want to sign. They came under this legal gymnastic and all of that. The question is, has the Supreme Court case been dispatched of?
It was dispatched.
Yes.
Yes, it was dispatched.
And what?
Because at the time, that it wasn't a law, it was bail. It was a bail.
It wasn't transmitted.
Yes, no, so what I'm saying is that, why did the MPP government did not even want to receive the bill in the first place? Why?
Are you saying that
because no.
So are you saying that? But it was dispatched in the latter year, 2024.
Yes.
The Supreme Court decided on a matter.
Yes.
Then the crux of that matter was the fact that it's the bill, it's not a law yet. So you can't come for interpretation of a bill that is not a law yet. Yeah. So the president at the time had some few days that could have still signed the bill, right? But it just was not transmitted, right? Okay.
So that is what I was talking about, that the MPP, under the MPP regime, they were not even ready to accommodate a bill that was duly passed by Parliament. They were not ready. Now, they raised issues about that some amendments have been made to the bill. Why? In this country, laws are amended. Laws are amended. And my learned brother rightly said that this particular law that has been passed went to the first reading, second reading, and the third reading of Parliament. At what stage did the MPP get to know that amendment had been made? You didn't raise any issue at the committee level, at the first reading, the second reading. At what stage did they get to know that some clauses have been taken out?
In Parliament
I'm saying that at what stage? Yes.
Let me come to, because of my time, please land shortly so that I come to a while. Unfortunately. But you have made the point, have you not?
Yes.
You have pointed out hypocrisy. You have questioned the decision of the Speaker. What else do you have to say?
That should be okay. So
that should be okay. Let's go. It's a fair. I'm presiding quite fairly, right? Am I not?
It's fair because
you are behaving like the Speaker.
Uninterrupted.
You are behaving like the Speaker.
Sometimes you need discretion.
Let me just let me just
30 seconds.
Just 30 seconds. That you see, when I heard that only 32 MPs were actually in Parliament, 34 yes. MPs were actually in Parliament at the time of the passage. I know that some MPs do go and sign attendance and leave, and it's part of the records. But if it is the case that only 34 MPs were in Parliament at the time of the passage, where we know that 34 means that there was no quorum, does it mean there was a deliberate, a tactical move for a procedural flaw?
What I want to find out from you, search the laws for me. I'm coming to our search the law for me because Wanda, there has been debate about at what point do we say quorum was formed or not. So please search the laws for me.
But before that, so the question is, was it deliberate?
Yeah, I'm saying that before we ask the question.
It was deliberate on behalf of the MPP. MPP has more than 34 MPs. If they really wanted to fight it, they ought to have been in Parliament.
So wait, the 32 has more than 32 was for both 30 for both NDC.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, that if the MPP
but come on. Come on. There's 80. How many are you? Mighty minority.
83 now.
83 now.
And how many are in Parliament?
And NDC is. So this quorum you're asking, deliberate part on who? On whose part?
No, that's what I'm saying, that I'm raising a nationalistic issue.
You're not entering the NDC too, right?
Yeah, of course. I'm raising the nationalistic issue from both sides.
Okay.
Is it deliberate move?
The same thing the president raised.
Okay. And I'm saying that the question about the question, you hear some lawyers.
It's not their priority.
At what point do we say quorum has been formed? Is it when MPs go to Parliament and register, or at the passage of a particular bill? That's a clarity I need. But
okay, so Emefa, if there is any law in this country that has enjoyed public discussion, it is the LGBT bill that was passed in 2004. Between 2021 and 2024, we had groupings, including people who were against. You remember the 15 famous academics and lawyers, Audrey Gajepo, the late Akuto Ampao, and so on. They went and made presentation against the law. We did all these things. Muslim organizations, Christian organizations went to Parliament for 4 months, sat down to do everything before the law was okayed. You remember the interview by Sam George? He said, Kenya came to Ghana
took our documents, changed the name Kenya, changed the name of the bill to just family values, and passed it, and they are now using it. So why are we changing ours?
Is this just, are you inviting me to go to how the MPP felt at the time?
Emefa, give me time to really do this.
Hang on. It's not a speech delivery.
It's not that deep.
Yeah, it's not speech delivery, okay. So the NPP at the time, the bill, all these people that you have mentioned that challenged it, at the time, were you happy with the bill?
Yes.
You were happy with the bill?
I have sat on this platform several times to say that the bill must be passed the way it is. I had even called on President Akufo-Addo. I'm on record to have called on President Akufo-Addo that if it gets to his table, he should sign.
Sign it. No, that's,
and again, I was with Dr. Baumia in Kumasi when he told the Muslim people that if it doesn't get to the president for him to sign, if he comes as president of Ghana, he will sign. I was in Kumasi with him. Again, President Mahama told us that he is a Christian and his values and everything point to the fact that he's against it. And if he comes as president, he will sign.
Yeah, he will sign.
Now, when he came as president, he told Catholic Bishops' Conference when they visited him in the Jubilee House that indeed that law has expired. They are going to sponsor it as government sponsors bill. That was what he told Catholic bishops. Today, that promise that he told them in 2025 early.
Was it a promise, or he said that?
He told them that we are now owning it up and sponsoring it as a government-sponsored bill.
Okay.
Yes. He didn't do that.
Okay.
He now left it for the private people. So that promise to the religious groupings and the entire country, because they went there to speak to him about the passage of the bill. That promise, he did not do that. And again, you see,
I don't remember
him saying they will.
Yeah, he said that it was a private member's bill, and that if they don't push it further, then he would now.
He says now government will want to own it up and make it a government sponsored bill. Because he didn't even say if you can go and read the text. He didn't even say if.
Don't worry.
But then Mahama is committed. There was no. You understand? So this is it.
Awal is my very good
Now
friend.
the question is, which other country in the whole world has passed this bill and given exemptions to media? There's no other country in the world that has done that. You see, what these people are looking for is not for them to commit the act in public. They are doing advocacy. I'm telling you, that is what they want. They want to do advocacy. I'm talking about the LGBTQ group.
Okay.
They want to sustain advocacy so that they can do recruitment. They are running into extinction. Ask AIDS Commission. They will tell you that majority of them are HIV/AIDS people in this country. They are dying and they cannot reproduce. So they want us to sustain the debate on radio and TV. In 2024, two presidents, the president of Ghana now and the president of Senegal, when they were campaigning, they said, when we come, we will make stricter laws to make sure that at least the thing is out. Now, in this country, we still have laws. Existing laws that says that if people are caught in the act, they can go up to 3 years, right?
Unnatural canon.
But unfortunately, they are not arrested because these are things that are done in the room. The only people who have been convicted in the past are people who sodomize children. They are the only people. So we felt that the only thing we can do to really nip this in the bud is to take out the advocacy. In Nigeria, you can't even discuss it.
But that would have been in violation.
Okay.
Let me. So it will not. Because in Nigeria, in Uganda, and everyone.
I have to cross over.
Everyone.
No,
he said. So this government has. I'm saying just let me just run. I'm saying that what we have seen today.
Article 102, right?
What is there today? Even Andy Solomon will sign it into a law because they have rendered the law into a useless law.
So you say that exemption is for advocacy? Is that what they mean?
Yes, but President Mahama is committed.
What is wrong for them to send it back and reconsider this? What is wrong?
Oh, it is wrong.
President Mahama is committed. Once it gets to him, he will sign. President Mahama will sign into law, unlike President Addo.
Unfortunately,
if President Mahama will sign this, and President Mahama
the
MPP did not have the political will.
Actually, Prof. Kwame Wanda, wow, thank you so much. We'll pick up on this. As for LGBT Day, as a NAT, Today I have to use my veto power. Wanda, please mute Mike's phone. Please mute his microphone. Now, let me have your full attention. The Ghana Export Promotion Authority says it is strategically positioning Ghana as a leading destination for sourcing agricultural produce on the global market. And agriculture contributed approximately 710 million of the 5 billion generated from Ghana's non-traditional exports, underscoring the sector's growing importance to the country's export performance. And I'm going to take you across you over. Speaking on the Super Morning Show as part of Joy Business Agribusiness Month, the GIPA Head of Research, Dr. Martin Akoti, and Head of Agribusiness, Fred Asante Omani, emphasized the need for Ghanaian agribusiness to become export ready to fully capitalize on opportunities in international markets. And co-host Kojo engaged these two experts on how local businesses can strengthen their competitiveness and drive growth through exports. Take a look.
You guys are smartly dressed in your Gepa t-shirts, wearing Made in Ghana.
We promote Made in Ghana.
Yes.
We have to be Made in Ghana.
Okay, so the Ghana Export Promotion Authority. What do you do at the Ghana Export Promotion Authority? What is your mandate in ensuring growth for Ghana and growth for agribusiness, and your general mandate as an institution?
Okay, good morning, and good morning to your cherished listeners, and a good morning, a special one to the CEO of GEPA, Lawyer Francis Kojo Arthur, and his able deputies. So, at the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, as the name suggests, basically, we are a trade promotion institution. Our mandate is to develop and promote what we call non-traditional exports